Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. On the last video, we finished what I called the bib area here, and we also took care of the breast area so that we have the shape of the breast the way it should be now. So what I'm going to start is I'm going to do some of the wing feathers, and in the back of the head here, I'm going to continue some of this on down. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to ask you to relieve some of the feathers, and I'll show you how to do that too, okay? So bear with me, and we'll continue on. Okay, we had marked some of the top of the head coming down. So remember I had indicated that we had flow arrows coming down this way. They're not actually markings that we're picking up, but this is just directional. And then when they come down, they're coming down the center, they're flaring to the right and to the left slightly, okay? And for those who have the sheets, this is the second sheet. This could give you an idea how the feathers should lay somewhat, and even in the breast area too here. But I'm not trying to cover it all right now. What I want to do in this segment is bring this down a little bit more through this area right in here, right through here, and then we'll stop. And then I want to show you this wing right here. Okay, now the one I'm actually doing isn't this side, but I'm going to ask you to do this on your own. Here's the one that we're doing. This is the back side. Here's the face on this side. We'll be doing this one. I'm going to do this pocket right in here first, and I want to show you how that's done. Okay, so bear with me here, and what I'm going to do, in fact, I should leave this one up top so that you can follow me on this. And that'll give an indication of what we're doing. We're going to do this wing first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it out, show you how, and then I want you to do the same thing. And you can look at the patterns for this side on this pattern over here. And that's this one right here. Okay, so we're doing this area right in here. And it comes around. And it comes down to here, and it's this area. So I'm going to try to give you this one, and we're actually going to do this side first, though. Here we go. So I'm going to put a C right in this area like this, and then I'm going to piggyback off of that one right here, and then I'm going to piggyback another one right off there. Then I'm going to come down and get it bigger. Then I'm going to come over here, and on this one, I'm going to come and swing about to here. Well, here we have one here. And you want to make them rounded in the back. Not totally round, to get a little elongated. So I'm just going to give like a C from here to here, and then I get a spacing. It could be, I know I should be using metric. They're like about 8 millimeters from here to here, where the middle of the C is. And then the next one's going to be about 10 millimeters, and the next one's similar. Okay, so here's another one. I put the C. I'm sort of aiming the C's up this way. Then I do another one. And I'm not completing this feather yet. And then as we come down into this area right here, I'm going to make this C just a little smaller than the ones I did up here. and pull them in, and then maybe I'll put one more right in here like this. Hope you can see that. Now I'm going to come over here. Notice I did not close these out. I'm not making feathers complete yet. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I have that size feather there. So I'm going to come down about same distance here. Could be 8 to 10 millimeters between here and here. And then I do a bigger one right here. So maybe a little further back, and then I want to pull them in, so I'm going to get a smaller one right in here and pull that in. And then maybe what I'll do is I have this one here and I end at this C here. I may just come around with a C that connects them, so it closes this one and it attaches itself to that one. Okay, now I'm going to come back up here. We have this smaller one, which was the smallest one of this whole grouping in here. I'm going to go just a little larger than this one and pop one right in there like that. Then, and this takes practice too, to do these. You do have a pattern, if you do have a pattern, and you can sort of see the size of them, okay? They may vary a little bit, but you sort of want to start small up here, increase as you come down, and as you get to about here, you want to start pulling them in again. So, but we're trying to make it look like they're aiming up this way, okay, directionally. The C's are flowing along this line of action, this one's flowing along this line of action, and this is pointing this way. So on the next one, like from here to this one, I'm going to come in and make a pretty good size C, which is bigger than the ones in front of it, and this can piggyback off of that. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to slip one right in here like that. Then I'm going to come in, let me expand this out a little bit more, and then I'm going to get a feather that comes in and around and it fills that area. Then I'll come in and do another one and we'll swing around like that. And then I'll get one in here and swing around like this. And we sort of fill that area, okay? And we went from small to larger and then back to small again as we come down, but not real small. And this last one here, we would turn here, and I could sneak a little one right in there. So we'll play with that as we go. Now, there's going to be other feathers that we have to deal with, which are these up in here. And I'm going to try to at least get that started for you too, so that you can see how we approach this. These up in here, I'm going to start with a small C, and I'm going with the direction of this shoulder here. It's coming around. Well, maybe I'm pointing it down too much. Let me come over here. I'm going to make the C. Well, I'll keep the same thing. The C is sort of pointing this way. Then the next one up here is going to be pointing up a little bit more. So I'll show you. And I will do one right here. So the direction of this C is out that way. This one's up this way. And then this one is turning a little bit. And then I'm going to do the similar process that I did here along here. And what I'm going to do is get a spacing away from that one. And I'm going to come around like so. I'm going to get some space between each one, not close out the C, and get bigger as I come back. Getting a little chintzy here. And they could be maybe at least 10 millimeters apart from C to C, from here to here. And then I'm going to get a bigger one still, and then another one right here. And then I'm going to go a little bit tighter in here, maybe about 8. And then I'll do one down here and keep this a little small. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to get bigger, but not close the C's like I did that. So you can sort of work these out. So I'm going to come around like this on this one. Then I did close that one out, didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Then I'll do a C here, get a little larger here, get a little larger here, then I'll pull in a little bit in here, make it a little small, tighter, bigger, and then smaller. Now I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to still keep these about this size initially. Okay, so we're going to fill that area in. Then I'm going to go from here over to here. So I'm going to close this out by banging into that one and then come around. Now, just for the sake of filling things in, I'm going to take another medium-sized one. So these are like that, I could say, is the same, and then these get a little bit bigger, but then we're going to increase as we come down. So this one was open over here, so I'm going to start, get some pencil marks in there. I didn't want, so here's this one. Let me get the point up. That one we closed. Now I'm going to come off of this one, spiral around, and I'm aiming this way, okay? This is sort of following down. This is following down this way, and the ones in the middle are sort of aiming this way. So I'm going to come in here on this one, like that, and that could join up. Then I'm going to come in here and stay kind of big, okay? I'm going to stay big in here, and then this can join up. And I'm going to sneak a small one in here because this didn't come out far enough, and I don't want a real big feather here. So I will come off of here and just throw a small one in there just to break it up a little bit, okay? They don't all have to be small to big to small again. So if you need to fill in something, you do that. Now I'm going to come from here, and notice this is pretty big. I'm getting not as spacey in here, and I come back to there. Now I'm going to I have this feather coming over and stopping there, and I have this one stopping there. So what I'm going to do is try to interconnect all of these. I'm going to start a feather right here, come around, and bang into that one. Then I'm going to come down here off of this one and come around and bang into there. And then I have this one coming down, so we will have this series getting bigger, smaller down here, and then this one right here. So we'll fill that in as we go here. Now, I made that look easy. You may want to play with it. Do it lightly the first time with your pencil lines, and then heavy it in afterwards, okay? So here's the trick I want to show you. I'm not worried about if you can do this. You're going to do this. We're going to just work this area next, but I want you to try it on this one, and then you can work this side, exactly that side, and either look at the patterns I have here or, try to duplicate just a mirror image onto this side, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do something different. These feathers in this wing area are going to be raised. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to get a burning pen and I'm going to come in on my C's and I'm going to show you how I do it. I come right in here, I lay, and I do like almost half a feather, come around, and then I do the other half. And I'm following my pencil lines, okay? And I'm not trying to burn real deep because I'm not looking to get a real deep lift. What we're doing is we're trying to undercut so we can lift these feathers. And as somebody had suggested, that's not realistic, okay? And in a sense, the person who said that, who made a comment, is correct. But we're exaggerating these feathers a little more than normal so that it makes the bird look interesting. If you ever have a bird at hand and you're trying to see the feathers, there's a zillion feathers on the bird and they're so soft that we're trying to mimic it, but we're not really, because the birds are as smooth as can be, and it's all over, even in the breast area. And in the breast area, I'm going to make these more textured than even up here, but that's just the way it goes. We're sort of exaggerating to the point of making it look good, okay? And it's not like if I put this in front of somebody, they can figure out what this owl is. It's not me, really making it any owl you want. We're going for a specific owl. I'm trying to make it look as realistic looking as I can. And I'm not trying to make just anything, okay? And part of carving, we're trying to enhance the bird, even though a lot of these feathers just don't stick out as much as they do, but we're taking license here, and I'll be the first one to admit that, okay? But we're enhancing the look of birds, and we're doing that. If you really get into it, when we burn and you start doing it where you're doing it for competition, the burn is a real science in itself, that you have to burn lightly to get a soft look. And it takes practice. It just doesn't happen right away. Now notice I'm just doing half feathers when I burn, because I don't try to do the whole thing in one fell swoop. As far as getting my, if you see, I'll come starting here and I sweep down and I do half of it. Then I come back and I do the other half. Okay. Now, I'm going to come over and do this one. Now, I don't go down into this valley because we already undercutted that to get that portion out. And that was something else that somebody had commented on, is the way we approach this. This is my way of enhancing the look of the bird. We take a little license, but we're trying to make it look like the real thing, believe it or not. And until you really get into it full tilt, you know, and you're trying to go professional, you'll find that more detail gets into it, but in a special way. And you're learning from me a certain portion of this, and I'm not trying to make this. I would say when we get done, you could do this bird for competition. You can, but it's you can even go crazier. You can. Some of the professionals, when they work on a carving, can spend months developing the carving. So I'm not spending months, but even with the videos, the way I go, it's time consuming, but it's not months. It really isn't. I may make several videos on what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to give you so much at a time without overwhelming you for all that we need to do, okay? I try to keep it within a certain time frame so that you can digest what I'm trying to show here, that you have the time to develop this yourself. And I honestly think, and this is my judgment or thought process on it, is I'm going to try to get you as close as I can to the real thing, but that's a matter of opinion, okay? And I am getting some opinions, so I understand, but I'm trying to get you to achieve to a certain level, and not everybody may want to get there. Everybody has a different way of developing. So here's what I've done. I've burned this section in. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing up here, but I'm only going to show you how to do it here, and then you will do the exact same thing over here. Now, what I'm going to do is you can get your bullet diamond bit, or you can get the flame tip ruby like this one. And I'm going to turn my machine on and I go full speed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to undercut lightly. I'm going to go to the outside of the burn. The burn acts as a stop. And we're going to, and if you notice, I'm keeping everything sort of flat here. You know, I'm not trying to dig in. I'm laying the side of the bit down. And I'm getting, if I got my fingernail in, I could just about get in there with a lift. Okay. And then I'm going to undercut this one. And I'm not going to china with this. I'm literally just getting a localized lift. Let me come out with this one. And what we're doing, we're trying to just lift this just slightly. And one thing I meant to tell you, before we even pencil these on, you should have had this sanded, okay? And you could use something like this, and I have these available if anybody's looking for them. You get a set of 10 plus the mandrel, and these really do a nice job, and you run them at half speed. And if you don't have that, you can get a piece of sandpaper and hand sand it and get it nice and smooth, because it makes for an easier process, even when we go to burn too. And I'm going to show you how to detail these feathers as we go here. I'm just undercutting all along the pencil line. I mean, yeah, the burn line now it is. And And if you notice, I'm coming out maybe an eighth of an inch with this bit. You can see it cut and undercut it right along the C itself. I hope you guys can see this good. And it gives a little lip around the C, basically what we're trying to get on each one. And I'm doing this one here, this big one. There we go. And I'm going to undercut here. Now, what I want to do after I get undercut all of the C's is I want to come back and just smooth out some of the surface, just in case you dug in too far. I haven't on mine, but this takes a little bit of a practice. I'm just letting the bit do more of the shaping without really leaning that hard on it. Okay. So I'm trying to. The nice part about it, because we blocked this in and we undercut along the way here, that sort of gives you an area to stay in to work this area. And it's the same way with this up here. We have this all blocked in over here. Here we go. Okay, now I'm just going to come in. You can see, at least I hope, I like undercut it out to here. I'm just going to come in real lightly, and I mean lightly, and just smooth that out. It's a real light touch. I'm letting the bit do the walking, and I'm hardly touching the surface just to get it smooth, okay? Without having just it undercut just a certain distance away from the C. So it's just a little touch, and if you go deep, then you gotta get rid of that, and then you're digging more and more, So be gentle. Now, I think that's pretty good there. Okay, we don't have any like real creases in there. I see one maybe I missed here. I want to cut that a little bit more. But in general, that's what you want to try to achieve. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you something. We're going to put quills on this feather, okay? And these are just going to be straight line. Now, remember I told you this C is pointing this way, so I come down with the C this way. Now, this C turned a little bit, so the quill goes right down the middle. And then I'm splitting that C in half. Then this one, splitting it here, like that. Then this C is going out this way, so I put a line this way. Then this C is coming out this way. This one's coming up this way. This C's over here. This one's coming this way. This one's coming this way. Hope you can see this well. The C is right there. This one's coming down here. This one's coming here. We got a little one. I'll just sneak that one in. And then we got this C moving up this way. This one's coming this way. This one's coming this way. This is going this way. This one's going that way. That way. That way. Okay. We got all the quills marked out in this one area. Oops, except for one. I'll get that one right there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my burning pen, and I'm going to do all the quills straight down. I'm just going to lay it on the line, come straight down. You don't have to press real hard. Just let the pen do the walking down. Stay on your lines. Okay. And you want to get a little bit of depth of burn in there, okay? You don't want it so light that it doesn't show. So if you didn't press enough, you can go back right over it. It's good to do it the first time if you can do it without trying to get back into the groove. But just follow your lines. And when we get these all done, I'm going to show you something that I do. I don't know if everybody else does this, but this is my way of handling that raised section that we just raised. I'm going to smooth it down, but it'll have a lift in between. And I'll show you how to do that in a second here. And like I said, I use my burner between a 5 and a 6, but that may not be the same temperature range that you have. Now all the quills are in. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this around and say, I'll do one of the bigger feathers so you can see it better, like up in here. This one right there. I'm going to burn from the outside in so that the hottest part of the tip is going to depress that raised section, but it'll give me a rollover. So I'm going to burn on a 45-degree angle to the quill. So I'm going to come in here. Hope you can see this well. I'm laying that in there, and then I'm trying to keep these as close as I can, but I'm starting right on that edge that I just lifted a minute ago. And I'm trying to keep my line work close to each other so you get a nice look. I'm going to do 45 on this side now. And you want to go out right to the burn line. And these are all like 45 in to the quill. And you want to keep them as close as you can get them. Okay, there's one of them done. Now, I'm going to move my way back up here. Should have started at the top, but no big deal. You'll have to excuse me. I don't think I'm coming down with anything, but every once in a while my throat gets dry as I'm talking here. And so I'm coughing a little bit. Now I'm coming back from the outer edge in. So I'm not burning from the inside out, I'm burning from the outside in. Now, if you noticed, it's darker on the outer edge. Excuse me. And that lowers that lip a little bit, but it gives me what I'm looking for. It gives it a soft look in here. And okay. Then we'll come all the way up to this little guy. And in a sense, burning deep on the leading edge of the C, the back edge of the C. I apologize again. And what I'm doing is pulling up, okay? Now some of the light areas here doesn't look like I textured it, but I did. And it's very light, which is great. it'll give you that look I'm looking for. Now I'm burning here. And I'm trying to keep this tight. And what I mean by that is the line work is as close together as you can get. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get all these. And again, remember that block of wood I showed you? Excuse me. On plywood, you could practice this as well. And some of you may be adept at that right from the get-go. And so just depends on how steady you are and let me get this back in here. And your burning unit too. Like these pens here, like the pointed feather, I think the P5 is ideal for this. A couple of the other tips, as I recommended before, will do it. This is a P12S. I have a P12 will do it. I don't know, something's stuck in my throat, I think. So I'm pressing down on that leading edge and then pulling in. And what I mean by the leading edge is the C, the back end of the C here. And I'm trying to go on a 45-degree angle to that quilt. So I'm just working each feather individually, not looking around me. I'm just working that area. And it takes practice. Again, I've been doing this for a long time, and it comes easy to me. And another thing that you're not seeing on the camera here is I'm wearing optivisors. And that could be, it just doesn't have to be an optivisor. It's any magnification that would help you to see it. I'm not a young chicken anymore, but even when I was younger, just wearing the magnifiers really helps in this case here, okay? You know, maybe your eyesight's really good that you can pick us all up, but I've been doing this for a number of years, and I still go to the magnifiers to help me see better. And if anybody is interested in any of them, I do have a variety. I have the Optivisor. I also have one that has like 3 lenses on it, and it also has a light, which as you're looking at the piece, it would direct lighting right onto the spot. So that's very helpful. And they're not that expensive neither. They really aren't. And you may be in a market for that down the road here. If you care to try them, they're really good. And I use it religiously because I like to see what I'm doing. And that's the thing. I can do this without, but it's just a sense of feel for me to be able to accomplish this. And I don't want to say I can do this blindfolded, but I can. I've been doing it so long that I can. You'd think I could do it blindfolded, but you can see what's happening here. These are really coming together, and I'm going to try to get this whole one portion of the wing textured so that you can really see the look of it. And I want you to try to accomplish this. When I get done this, then what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing, even with the quill and everything else. You have quills on these coming down, and I would like you to do the same thing. And it's just following the same procedure. You're following the middle of the C and the flow. This flows this way, so your quills are sort of going down the middle of the C's. They're going this way, and then these are coming down the middle. So similar to what you see right here. So you're just mimicking a lot of what we're doing here, and we will be doing a lot of this because this occurs both on the head and everything else. So I wanted to concentrate on this portion right here so that you can get started. And then if you would, and you feel ambitious, and for those who have the pattern, if you want to make an attempt at drawing some more on here, go ahead and do that, but keep it light. And then what I'll do is I'm going to give you directions on how to do everything. But if you want to start penciling in some more of the feathers, and then I'll have a video to follow after this one that will show you how to undercut them as well. We're going to try to undercut almost the whole segment of the wing here, okay? But coming down to this wing, we're going to do the similar steps like here. So, and that means we're not lifting, we're just texturing. And there are some feathers that don't need to be raised, but in the wing area, I try to raise them. So I hope you get to enjoy this because I find it very relaxing. I try to get myself into a comfortable position, and sometimes I'll even play some music or something or listen to something and just burn for a while. And just take your time. I don't know I hope nobody's in a rush to do any of this. It's a relaxing way of just doing it. It's repetition, but it's pleasurable if you like to create, and that's what I like to do. I've delved into so many things, and I find as an art form, I like the carving, but I also do two-dimensional pieces. Like I do watercolors, pen and ink, pastels. I've done a gamut of different things along the way. And I like to try everything. I don't know about anybody else, but I got into lapidary. I used to design jewelry as a sideline thing for myself, but then I did get into some selling and stuff like that. So I've tried a lot of things, but the one thing I really like is when I do the carvings, because it sort of comes alive as you go. And I guess it's one of the things that gave me more pleasure, and I've stuck with this one more so. Well, I was just trying to figure out the number of years I've been playing this game as far as carving goes. And I started in the mid-70s. So I've been doing this a long time. And what you got to understand too, if I do some of this in front of you here, and it takes you a little longer, or you may have to practice, that's because I got the number of years in on this that I've been doing, and I try to perfect it to what I can do best. But, you know, you may get lucky and start out doing a great job right from the get-go. So now there's the whole segment of that wing done, okay? And you're burning from the outside in, except for the quills, you're coming straight down this way, but everything else is being pulled in. So if you could do that, and then even before you do the veining, if you would undercut all of it, you know, burn all these in and get that in there like that, that would be great. And then if you want to at least pencil in this side, I'll try to show you some more on here, but then we have a different setup for each one going down here. So I will show you that on the next video. I will probably try to have this done for you to look like this, and then we'll go to this one, and then we'll go to this one next. So we're going to move our way down. We still have to construct some of the primaries and secondaries down at the end here, but we will try to do that. And then we still have the tail completely to get in there. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of the video, and if you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. I hope that if anybody knows anybody to pass the information on as far as that I'm out there, and if they could support me in subscribing to me. And I also would, if you have any comments or you're sort of in a quandary about what was done there and you need some clarification, you can contact me by email. I do have kits available for not only the owl, I've done the cardinal, I've done the wrens, I've done a house finch, I've done otters. I'm trying to do different things along the way. This project will take a little bit longer because it's busier, but it's just an interesting piece to do, and we will do the whole thing, and I'll take you in segments. And again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video, and we will be moving down for the next couple of groupings here, and I'm going to try to do this one. And maybe what I'll do is show you how to pencil this in. It's the same thing, except that it's just a flip over. And if you have the patterns, a lot of it's there. So give it a shot, and we'll see you on the next video. And I thank you very much. Bye now.